My family's had a relationship with Sri Lanka since several generations. In fact, some of my best childhood memories are on the beaches of Galle or Bentota, playing cricket, building sandcastles, eating the food, exploring. We have a lot of friends and family here in Sri Lanka, and it's always been a second home to us. In fact, the joke is that being a huge cricket fan, I often prefer the Sri Lankan team over the Indian team. My father's been coming to Sri Lanka since the 1980s, and especially through the 80s and 90s when times were tough. There was war, there was infrastructural requirements, there was national disaster. We've been part of most of the infrastructure development. In fact, I remember this story as a child. There was a large power plant that was stuck moving to the Kalani River, and our company was called in from India to help move it. I think the romance with Sri Lanka began around then, and we've been regularly doing business in this country ever since then. We entered the real estate business in early 2000 in India. From there, it was just a natural progression for us to bring this business to Sri Lanka. We're very comfortable with large-scale, logistically complex projects. It's been in our blood since 3 generations. I guess one would say we just love to build.
Building is a scientific process. It takes into account several parameters such as climate, geography of a place, people, its culture. And in the real estate world, it even looks at markets and policies. So the whole idea of architecture today is not only about just finding solutions to all these several parameters, but my job as an architect is to be able to add magic to the experience of living in these uniformed apartments. Therefore, I feel that if I can add poetry to the idea of building, then we have architecture.
Sri Lanka has a great architectural heritage, be it from the Dutch colonial architecture all the way through Geoffrey Bauer in modern times. And in fact, it's one of the more unique traditions in South Asia.
My relationship with Sri Lanka goes back about 30 years. This was the time when I visited Colombo when I was in school. But when I went this time, I found that Colombo had completely changed. And what was most striking is how green it still is. And so the challenge for us was to really be able to meld the idea of the green Colombo into a tall concrete skyscraper.
At the same time, Sri Lanka is on the cusp of great change as we move towards this future as a megapolis. I guess the real challenge in this project has been doing justice to this tradition of architecture while pushing the boundaries of modern design. 110 Parliament Road was our first project in Sri Lanka. In 2007-2008, when we were conceptualizing this, the foreign investment community thought we were crazy. But we stuck on, and in the end, it was one of the more successful real estate developments in Sri Lanka in recent years. In fact, a lot of the things which we offered at 110 Parliament Road, like the club floor, like the specialized layout, are items that have now become the benchmark or the norm for new developments. So I guess in a way, our name Iconic was the right choice. Of course, we've learned a lot from the first project, and we've tried to take all these learnings and put them into our development plan for the next project. So I guess with that, I'm proud to announce the Galaxy by Iconic, our new development in Rajagiriya. We're especially proud in this project to be working with architect Samira Rathod, who is an award-winning architect nationally and internationally. The reason we have selected Samira is that we believe that she can draw from Sri Lanka's architectural tradition and still give us the building of tomorrow.
Each of the terraces are divided into different kinds of gardens. So you have a tea garden, you have a garden of grasses, you have a fragrance garden where we hope to attract a lot of butterflies with a little deck from where you can see the whole of Colombo. You have a small amphitheater, and to top it all again, we have a little observatory on the top with a magnificent telescope so you can watch the stars, look far into the galaxy where it gets its name.
Together, Samira and us, we have envisioned something very special for this city, which we both hold very close to our hearts. The Galaxy by Iconic is not just a building, it is a home. And as Samira likes to say, we hope it will be poetry.